Today we're making 3 kid-friendly recipes. It's officially summer and kids are picky eaters, so today I have 3 healthier homemade versions of kid-friendly recipes. We're starting off with some homemade chicken nuggets and we're using ground chicken for this recipe. We're gonna bake them in the oven. It's super simple. Next up we have a broccoli cheddar pasta, which is a lot like mac and cheese, except we're adding broccoli. I love these recipes too because they're really good for adults too. Like I could destroy a whole bowl of this broccoli cheddar pasta. It is so delicious. And then last we're doing beef tacos. These are crispy shelled. They're super easy. We're just doing like beef and cheese in the tacos, and then you can add your favorite toppings. These are all super yummy recipes. So let's get started with the chicken nuggets. These chicken nuggets are seriously so simple. I really like chicken breast for nuggets, but I also love ground chicken, which is what we're doing today. These only have a few ingredients. We're doing some milk and bread, which is like my secret to any kind of meatball or nugget. It stays really juicy in the oven. Then we have some eggs and some panko breadcrumbs just to give them a little bit of crispiness. To get started with this recipe, I have a slice of sandwich bread, or you can use like a hamburger bun or a hot dog roll. It's really easy. I'm just gonna take this and just break it apart into little tiny pieces. Then I'm taking a 1/3 cup of milk and I'm just gonna pour it right over the top. I wanna make sure that these are like submerged in it, so I'm just gonna kind of toss them around a little bit, and then we're gonna let this bread soak in here. This is gonna go into that chicken mixture and it makes them so juicy and delicious. Next up, we're gonna take our ground chicken and add it right into a bowl. I'm using ground chicken breast, which is the Purdue brand. It turned out really good. And then we have 1 cup of panko breadcrumbs. You can use plain or you can use Italian. And then we're adding in for spices. We have some salt, garlic powder, paprika, onion powder, and oregano. And I'm gonna mush that bread up a little bit more with the milk and just pour it right in. We're also adding in 1 egg. And then just use your hands or a spoon just to combine all the ingredients together. The panko breadcrumbs definitely help it stay like a better texture. It's really, really soggy if not. So I would not recommend skipping the panko. And then I just take a spoon, tablespoon or so. I'm gonna add it right into a bowl of 1.5 cups of panko breadcrumbs. There's no spices in here or anything. And we're just gonna form it into a chicken nugget. It's easier if you just drop it in there and then form it because it doesn't stick to your hands as bad. And we're just gonna add this onto a cookie sheet and then repeat until we get all of them. This makes between like 28 and 30 nuggets. We have these all ready for the oven. The biggest thing with ground chicken is to touch it as little as possible because it's super sticky. That's why we added the extra panko breadcrumbs in. But just make sure to really try not to touch it too much. And if your hands get really yucky, wash them and then start over again. I'm gonna add these to a 375-degree oven. We wanna bake them for 10 minutes. Then we're gonna take them out, give them a flip. And I like to brush mine with about a tablespoon of olive oil. Just dab it all on each nugget. You could also use like avocado oil, or you could use vegetable oil, whatever you have on hand. It just gives them a little bit more of a crispy texture. Then we're gonna add them back in for 8 to 10 minutes until that internal temperature reads at least 165 degrees. I like serving them with all my favorite dipping sauces. These are so yummy. Next up, we're making my personal favorite, which is broccoli cheddar pasta. We're using shells for this recipe and it's so delicious, super yummy, so let's get to it. This recipe is seriously so easy and takes under 30 minutes to make. We're gonna add in some butter into a pot, just a few tablespoons. I like salted for this recipe. And then we're gonna add in some chopped onions, just dice it nice and small so that the kids don't really notice it. And if you know your kids aren't gonna eat broccoli, you could always leave the broccoli out or like do cauliflower so they can't really see it. Then you're just gonna give this a good stir. We're gonna add in some salt and pepper, and then we're gonna add in our garlic. You wanna make sure those onions are really nice and softened though before we add in the rest of the ingredients. Then we have some pasta shells. We're also gonna pour in some chicken stock and heavy cream. And I like chicken stock over chicken broth for this recipe. And you're gonna give it a good stir. And then go ahead and cover this and cook it for 6 minutes. Once we uncover it, we're gonna give it another good stir, and then we're gonna add in our broccoli. Fresh broccoli is best for this recipe, not frozen, because frozen gets really mushy. And you can definitely chop it up smaller. It does break up pretty well once you stir it towards the end. And we're gonna cover and cook this for another 8 to 10 minutes until everything is really nice and cooked. Just check that the broccoli is really tender, and same thing with the pasta. And if it's not tender, then you can add in a little bit more cream, or you can add in some more broth and just cook it for a few more minutes. Then once you're done, go ahead and give it a stir, and we're gonna add in that cheddar cheese. Make sure to shred the cheddar cheese from a block, not from a bag, because it's not gonna melt well that way. Just give it a nice stir, and then this one is ready to serve. How good did that raw cheddar pasta look? It is seriously so good. I could eat this almost every single day. Next up, we have crispy beef tacos. These are really fun and one of my kids' absolute favorites. We're gonna oven bake them so they get nice and crispy. This is such a good recipe, so let's get started. Prep work for this recipe couldn't get easier. You honestly don't even need any toppings except for the cheese, but we're gonna do some cilantro and onions because I wanna have like dinner for everybody, and me and my husband like this, plus my oldest daughter will eat it too. Then we're gonna shred up some cheddar cheese. You wanna shred this yourself. You could also use pepper jack or Monterey Jack cheese. I'm also whipping up just some avocado crema. It only has 1 avocado. It's got a cup of cilantro, 3/4 cup of sour cream, juice from 1 lime, and then we've got garlic clove, some salt and cumin, and this just goes all in the food processor. It's super yummy, and I'm making this for me and my husband tonight too, so I wanna have a little something extra on it, or you can dip it into this sauce. This sauce is super tangy and creamy. It's so good. We're gonna make the meat for the tacos, which is just 1 pound of ground beef. I like 85/15 for this recipe because it doesn't dry out, but it's also not so greasy. I'm gonna cook this until it's no longer pink, and then I like to absorb a little bit of the grease up too with just some paper towels. We're also gonna add in 2 tablespoons of your favorite taco seasoning, and then just stir that up, and then I'm gonna put the heat on low once this is no longer pink, and just kind of let it sit for a little bit. I'm also gonna add in a couple tablespoons of water as it cooks, just because I don't want it to dry out at all, and we need to make this taco shell still. We're gonna be using 14 corn tortillas for this. This makes about 14 tacos, and we need a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil or canola oil. You wanna go ahead and pour that into a skillet over medium-high heat. The oil needs to be really hot for this recipe. To test it, just add the tortilla into the side a little bit. Look for those bubbles before you actually drop it in. This is gonna cook for about 20 seconds. Then you're gonna flip it and fold it over. We want it to be like this shape, so you really need to fold it right in the beginning, and then just cook each side for about 10 seconds or so until it's nice and crispy. These are gonna get even crispier in the oven, so don't worry too much about it. But just go through and cook each of those shells, and then when you sit it on your paper towels, just make sure that it's like that half shape still. Penny decided to sleep like on my feet right next to when I'm frying tortillas, which is the danger zone, but she wouldn't move, so that's fine. Then we're just gonna go ahead and remove our paper towels from our cookie sheet and space these out. We want all of them laying on one side, and we're gonna add a couple tablespoons of that taco filling, and then we're gonna add in some cheese, like about a tablespoon or so of that cheddar cheese, and then just fold these up. These are gonna go in the oven for 4 to 6 minutes until that cheese is nice and melted. Then these are ready to enjoy. I like to top mine with cilantro and onion, and then that's that avocado crema that is so good. That's it, we're all done with these kid-friendly recipes. Let me know in the comments below which one you guys think your kids would eat. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and make sure to hit subscribe for new recipes every single week. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.